How's it?
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to EPS ParaTalk. I'm Robert. This is
Freddie. Hey guys.
What's going on, Freddie? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling wonderful today, sir. How about you?
That must be because you finally got a little bit of time.
I got a little bit of a 3-day weekend, so I'm stoked, man.
Awesome. Awesome. Good to hear. Good.
Stoked.
Now, if it would just be a little warmer outside, I am not one of these
I-
cold weather type people.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm all about warm.
Seeing the white stuff, get rid of it. Let's get the sunshine. Let's go back up to some warmer temperatures.
Right.
Starting to believe in the way Janie is, where she says if the temperature is below her age, she doesn't care to be outside. I agree with that. Hey, Samantha, thanks for being on. I'm going to wait for a few other people to jump on. We'll get moving here. How are you doing, Samantha? Hopefully you're doing good.
Hey, Sam.
Get some fun. Actually, while we're waiting, I'm just going to go ahead and just throw in one of our, just a quick clip. So just bear with me for a moment. I just want to share something of the past. Doesn't really matter which one. It's kind of neat. They're all kind of neat. Let's go with, this is just dowsing rods. While we're waiting, I'm just going to throw some dowsing rods on. So hang on just a second.
And as they're all in here, I'm Gil. Say, and you say the date.
Okay.
And the time and where you are.
Okay.
And just leave it recorded.
Alright. Thank you. It's trying to go both ways.
It's swinging uphill.
Yeah, and it's changing directions.
Ask it to stop.
Can you stop it, please, for her?
Whoa.
Can you make it come to a complete stop, please? Almost. Thank you very much. While we're just waiting for some people to jump on, that's one of the things we like to do is we absolutely enjoy the dowsing rods. Well, some of us enjoy it. Janie doesn't really enjoy it that much.
She don't really care. So,
Amber, thanks for being on. Just real quick, as far as with the dowsing rods, you'll notice typically when somebody's using the dowsing rods in our present, we try to get them to tilt them down just a little bit because then you can actually see when it goes uphill. Changing directions multiple ways, that's pretty damn impressive as well. If you ever held the dowsing rods, our hands are never completely steady. Mine will never ever get back to being steady again. But so we're all going to shake just a little bit, and then you kind of, before you start, you kind of see what that does to the rods. Then you want to have something that's a lot more dramatic. Some people does the cross. I like to do the complete spin. To me, that's pretty awesome. Amber in particular, she was on, we were at a location and had some amazing dowsing rod activity with her as well, especially people that tend to have abilities, tend to be a lot more in tune with the energy, and the energy seems to flow through them, and the dowsing rods seem to respond accordingly very, very well. I do want to throw out there, unfortunately, we don't have Janie with us today. She's sitting off to the side. I've already given her a headache, I guess, already for the day between my post.
I just think she didn't want to tolerate us today.
I believe that.
I think it's probably what it was. So.
I think we already.
Yeah, she just. Yeah. I'm done. I can't deal with these two. I'm over it. So,
guys, anybody that jumps on, again, we're very casual in our conversations. If you have questions about any topic that has to do with the aspect of the paranormal, ghost hunting, spirits, ghosts, we're not going into cryptics and everything else, but if you have anything that pertains to that, feel free to ask any questions you want. We gladly will answer them. It's very casual. Deborah, thanks for being on. If you just say, hey, it's just so we can go ahead and give you a shout out. We'd love to give shout outs to everybody. We're very personable about that. If you have an issue and you want to talk to us privately, you can send a message right there on the screen. You know, it's got our page. You can go to our Facebook page and actually go ahead and send us a message there too if you don't want to say things in front of people, which we understand. And thanks for being on.
Hello. And if you guys can share out, that'd be outstanding as well, please. So
most definitely. So cool. A couple of tips we wanted to do. We want to talk about a few things, getting back to some of the basics for some people. There's so many posts.
Hey, Linda.
There's so many posts that talk about, EVPs, recorders. EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. That means that you'd have a recorder, you'd have yourself and however many known physical people in the room that you can actually see. Ideally, keeping it limited. You ask questions with a recorder going, you play it, you don't hear anything. If you were to hear any voices at that point, that would be a disembodied voice if there's nowhere it's coming from. And again, you have to watch for ventilation around you. If you're in an apartment building, some apartment buildings share ventilation, so you can get people's voices carrying through something like that. So you want to watch for stuff like that. Again, if you hear it without, Donna, thanks for being on.
Hello, Donna.
Yeah, hang on just a moment. We'll get right to that, Donna. I'll talk to you about that as well. As far as the recorders itself, though, you have disembodied voice. The recorders, EVP, electronic voice phenomena, you play it back, and all of a sudden we're talking, and then there's a woman's voice, and we know there's no woman here. That would be an EVP. Most of them are, let's just say 85% of them are almost a whisper. They're very low. So a lot of people overlook those because they're listening for our conversation that we're doing as we're asking the questions, and they don't allow their ears to adjust to hear that. But typically,
And that's something we talk about too. Make sure you don't whisper if you're in a room. I mean, just talk normal and tag everything that you hear, that, outside traffic, inside stuff going on, like an ice machine or some type of thing that's going to make sound, like a refrigerator running. So, yeah, so you want to make sure,
Well, again, same thing for the tagging. When somebody does whisper, because if you have a group of 4 or 5,
somebody's going
to whisper. Doesn't matter how many times. Corey, thanks for being on.
Hello.
Doesn't matter how many times you try to tell everybody, hey, especially beforehand, look, no whispering, just talk normal. Somebody's going to hear something, and all of a sudden, hey.
Good afternoon, Shay.
Shay, hey.
Great.
Thanks for jumping on, sweetheart. Appreciate it. Glad you guys are feeling better. Glad you're feeling better, Shay. I know you were going over the COVID. Jeremy York jumping on. Jeremy. So as far as with the recorder, obviously, again, we have the disembodied, we have the electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, and we also have ITCs. ITC, instrumental transcommunication. That's when you're using something that's creating noise that they can manipulate, such as a spirit box. They can manipulate that to create words. And so there's multiple pieces to it. But the recorder without it, you're kind of missing out on an awful lot. You can hear it. People like Donna, she might hear it if she's got ability. She might hear it with, she's thinking she's hearing it, but that's going to be different than a recorder, because if the person next to you, or you can't go back and play it back for the client, then it's just hearsay, unfortunately. So as far as the dowsing rods, quick question that Donna had about the dowsing rods. I love copper. The original pair of dowsing rods that we were using was actually Janie's dowsing rods. She hates them. They're copper. They're very simple copper. They have a little copper sleeve, but it's all copper. Most of them out there now are brass. I like the copper personally. My favorites are, I don't know, between those and I've got the light ups. The light ups are phenomenal. They're extremely well balanced and they're incredible. Bridget, thanks for jumping on. What do you think of the dowsing rods?
I think they're interesting. I was never one to use them until recently. Then I started trying. Like, I know Melody has a pair, and I tried. It was actually pretty interesting because they were copper and they had beads, at the end. So yeah, so I'm holding it, and my finger is blocking the one side. I do know that my finger went down far enough, but I could feel the rod trying to push to get around my finger.
Right.
And we actually, if I can find the video, I think we still have a video where you can actually see it actually pushing against my finger. But I think they're really neat, especially when Jenny uses them.
Yes.
Outstanding. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's tremendous energy that she has with them.
I'm going to go back. I played it right at the beginning. I'm going to go back and play this quick clip, and it is the dowsing rods. And this was a guest that we had at the time, and we're actually in the control area, and she's standing off to the side and look over, and of course the dowsing rod's spinning like a champ. That's my preferred method. I like to see a dowsing rod actually spin. Again, it's no offense against anybody, but when you're holding the dowsing rods, we're moving a little bit. So you'll see them tilted. Makes it a lot easier for me, especially if you can get 2 different camera angles. Makes it a lot easier for me to be able to show whoever's watching, look, they're swinging uphill, which is what you're going to hear me remark.
Right.
The other person on the camera, Ryan, will say, yeah, they're swinging both ways. If you actually watch which way it's rotating, just as fast as it's rotating one way, it will change directions and go back the other way. That's extremely impressive. If you've ever used dowsing rods, try to do that sometime. Try to manipulate them and try to see how quick you can make them change directions. Good luck on that. I'm going to play it.
And as they're all in here, I'm Gil, say, and you say the date
Okay.
and the time and where you are,
Okay.
and just leave it recorded.
Alright. Thank you. Let's try to go both ways.
It's swinging uphill.
Yeah, and it's changing directions.
Ask it to stop.
Can you stop it, please, for her?
Whoa.
Can you make it come to a complete stop, please? Almost. Thank you very much. Now, had that been the only person we've ever done that with, okay. Again, if you know me, the problem is I'm always skeptical about everything. But you can see the angle at which they're at is pretty impressive. The fact that they changed directions, that's extremely impressive. And the fact that they're going uphill. When you put all that together, pretty cool. When you get to a point where you've seen it on multiple people, Janie, for instance, we've got some video of Janie doing it that's absolutely amazing. Amber, just people that are on right now.
And Amber.
People that I've watched actually do it. It's so amazing. But it's those that are usually a little bit more tuned in as far as with abilities. It's amazing to see how they can react by far. Chrissy, thanks for being on.
Hey, Chrissy.
Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you, Janie. Janie was just saying, hey, can you please like and share? We definitely appreciate that all
Thanks,
the time.
Janie.
So when it comes to, as far as the dowsing rods, Donna, copper is definitely my favorite. Brass is not. It's very common. Not really my favorite. I think the copper just seems to be better in tune for more people, a wider range of people using them. And again, there's still, Bridget says she's getting used to them. There's several things you can do, and you can even blindfold somebody. This is crazy, ridiculously weird how it works, but it does work. We have used them in cemeteries to actually find unmarked graves. And when you go over a grave, they will cross. As you step past the grave, they open back up. If you walk backwards, they will, again, as you go across a grave, they'll cross and then open back up as you move backwards. We've even blindfolded people and had them walk parallel to the headstones. And the same thing has happened. So it's been really, really cool. Chrissy, thank you for sharing very, very much. So when you're starting to get responses like that, I've watched a live that Amber was doing, and she was actually asked, okay, can you point where you're buried at? And they were in a cemetery with Grounded Paranormal. And sure enough,
right,
it was crazy accurate at that point. That was phenomenal to see. I love to see it with anybody. I mean, anybody that's out there that has good quality evidence that can show, it leaves you for you to make your decision for yourself, which is perfectly fine. We're not trying to convince you. We want to be able to give you, though, okay, you tell us how this is happening. I'm sitting here going, wow, holy heck. She sure enough pointed out she had a name. She turns around and it points in the direction when she asked, and that was it. It was like, cool. The problem, Jeremy, as far as with the dowsing rods is, again, we all move. We all move to a point. And a lot of people want to try to be all level and everything. And good luck with that as best as you can. But I'm always adding a little degree of something extra to it. I want to make it more difficult. The ping pong balls. Most of my ping pong balls actually have a flattened bottom. I'll just slam them against a table and then put them down, because if they start to roll after I flatten the bottom, again, it's a more dramatic step.
Hi, Sarah.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere. Like Chrissy said, you can use them anywhere. There's no set thing that you can do. You can go well beyond the crossing of them. You know, some people will cross. We've been locations, and Janie will be talking about a particular individual spirit that's there and say, hey, point to such another, and whether she has them point to Freddie or whoever, or where the spirit is hiding at. And we've had it each time. It's been pretty cool. I can't get the confirmation unless it's going, if we only have one other female in the room, and maybe that person is actually behind the camera, Janie will say, point to the other female in the room, and then you watch it spinning and go to that particular person. That to me is pretty cool. Again, think outside the box.
We had a good time too up the AMA squad. We did the investigation with the girls. Remember that?
Yes.
In the bunker room, and they had a
They've never used them
amazing
before.
time with dowsing rods.
Actually, at first, the first one that uses them and they start to move, and just her mannerism,
Yeah.
she is freaking. She was definitely like,
Yeah.
oh my God, and just absolutely tripping out over the fact that they were moving. When you relax and you actually just let them actually work. If they're going to work, sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do. For me, they don't work a lot. I've had them work before, and you can actually feel, it's like you can feel the electric in them. It's crazy. Donna, absolutely. People with abilities do seem to have a real good result with, and again, you got to be true to yourself too. I mean, we're all going to shake a little bit, but try to make it that little bit harder for something to do something. If it has the ability, it's going to blow your mind. What was Jeremy saying?
Jeremy said that's how the one toy I have is. It's a ball with an outer shell that holds a lot of beads. There are 2 flat spots on it, so I lay the ball on one of those spots, and if it moves, the beads move, and you can hear it. So,
Absolutely perfect. Chrissy has a perfect way of using them. Lead me where you want me to go, or something. If there's something I should see, again, thinking outside the box. Beautifully put. That's excellent. Let them go ahead. If they're already able to manipulate them, why not use them to go ahead and lead you? Hey, is there another place we're supposed to be? Is there something you want? Perfect. Why not? That makes a lot of sense. So, dowsing rods, again, they don't get as much use as I think they probably really should. Just from what we've seen some.
I know if I use a dowsing rod, I have to put my arms on the table to do it. I can't. There's no way I can sit here and just hold them down. I got to brace myself. But
Oh, she's peeking. She couldn't refuse coming down, aggravating us a little bit. Go ahead.
I just want Freddie to see my footy pajamas. I know he's never got the full.
oh, come over here, Janie.
I got the flat.
Come over here and show everybody.
No,
Just walk by. Come on.
no.
Just walk behind us.
She's doing this
No,
on
we'll go to
purpose. She just
Facebook
knows
jail, Freddie, and I don't have my orange.
she's got her little PJs with the flap in the back, and she thinks it's just the
It's
thing.
her onesie. It's her onesie jumpsuit with the flap in the back. The barn door flap.
It's even got footies.
Janie, get out of here. See, I didn't cough yet. I can't hold it with you doing that stuff. Stop. You did it on purpose. I know, Bean. Don't. We ain't looking. Stop. She is not behaving. Look, I'm turning the camera right on you.
Chrissy says, "Come on, Janie, show us." Oh,
Don't
my
get her
God.
started. Oh my gosh. Using them to ask yes/no questions. Most of the rods are made out of the most sensitive rods are made out of copper. They've worked extremely well. There are some brass, and even I think the light ups are brass, and they're extremely well balanced.
Brass rod, yeah.
The main thing is you definitely want to have balance, and you want to be able to keep your hands. There's usually like a little ball on the bottom of the rod because it's just an L-shaped rod that's going through something like beads or a sleeve that's going to let it rotate freely. You have to keep your thumb down. Don't touch the top of the rod with your thumb. You're going to mess it up at that point. It's not going to be able to move as well. Personally, from what I've seen, the copper has definitely been the best.
One thing with copper too, you have to watch around water sources.
Well, it was originally.
Right. If you're around trying to do something around water, it's going to react to the water. So just keep that in mind too. So,
Dowsing, the rods originally came from dowsing. Dowsing was basically like a wide portion of a stick or limb.
Mm-hmm.
And originally for them drilling for water, seriously, that was the most popular way to drill for water back in the day. And basically they would walk with it. And when that stick dropped down, that would tell them where to dig, and that would be water. And they were extremely successful. So that's why it was kept around for such a long time. So it does react to other elements, as Freddie said, such as water, obviously. Thanks, Shay. I appreciate you being willing to protect her. What is up with that? Don't worry. This year, we're going to get you enough footage. You're going to see she is perfectly able to protect herself, and she picks on us.
she needs no help at all. None.
All right. So Again, if you don't have a recorder already, definitely one of the first things you want to get if you're getting into the field, get your recorder. And that's just our opinion. If you get one, though, make sure it has an input so that you can connect it to a laptop. That's going to be extremely beneficial. Just throwing that back out there one more time. What's Sarah have?
Sarah has, my grandma would use something like a crystal pendant or on a chain, and it would start going crazy. I can't remember what it was called or what it was used for, a pendulum.
Pendulums are people still use pendulums quite a bit, and it was pretty wild. I'll give credit, even my ex, when we first started using pendulums at one point, she asked, I think it was 26 times or 27 times in a row, she would take a quarter and she would flip it and put it down, and then she would ask the pendulum, and what it is one way could be yes, no, like yes going this way, no when it swings this way. There's different ways you can do it, and you can create your own board. You can take a piece of paper and pencil, you can write, and again, it's swinging, so it's going to go back and forth. So yes and yes would be on this side, no and no would be on this, up and down. And you hold the pendulum, and again, people have tried to put it on banana racks and stuff like that. It really, we've tried tying it to all kinds of stuff. It's using your energy. So do we shake a little bit? So you have to start off, the pendulum's hanging down. It's going to move a little bit, no matter what. Nobody's going to be that crazy still. But then when you ask a question, you'll notice it will swing a lot more dramatic, which is pretty wild. But it was like 26, 27 times when she would sit there and try to say heads or tails, it would tell us the right read. Each time it told her, and it was dead on every time. It was crazy. Don't ask me how. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm starting to be a believer at that point. Jeremy?
Copper is also used for electricity, so it would make sense for copper to be used in dowsing rods for the EMF that spirits said to be able to manipulate. Chrissy has, they can be used for directional reasons as well. Point me in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, we're going to skip Janie's comment. She just said Freddie and Rob are just jealous of her fancy footy PJs.
So it's really cool, though, as far as with the pendulums and everything. Don't rule out what can happen. The only thing is, again, you have to know where you're at. Like right now, I'm shaking crazy amounts right now just because of what I'm going through. So I hold it. That thing's just going to probably be bouncing up and down. Doesn't mean anything's trying to go ahead and whatever. It's me. But no different than the dowsing rods, it has a lot to do with your energy. And if you allow your energy, allow them to use, it's amazing when those things, people have told so many different details with them. You just have to be creative in how you decide to do that. People use them to find things in their house that go missing, and they work. They sell pendulums all over the place. Amazon, eBay, absolutely.
The one I have is a black onyx one that I have, which basically you had in a kit, and I basically went through and I felt that was the best one that worked for me, that I had a connection to it. Like it does. I can feel like the pulsating from it. So
and that's very particular about any type of crystals, rocks, anything like that, whatever you want to call them. A lot of times it's your own connection to it in particular. You could have something that says, hey, this is supposed to be obsidian, black obsidian. Hey, it gets rid of negative energy, but you might have a bad reaction to it. Maybe you're just bad energy. I don't know. I'm just saying, don't get mad at me. It's the rock's fault, not my fault. I'm just telling you what it's saying. I'm just kidding. But it doesn't mean that that's the one you have to have. You kind of get a pull to it. You kind of get a pull to certain things, and it's okay to do that. That's a great way. Right. Because you went through that tray and you're kind of
right.
like, well,
I'm not feeling that, but then I felt that one and it actually worked best for me. So,
and Freddie is not typically one who's crazy sensitive in the sense of that. No. He is very sensitive to EMF. So he does have, energy wise, he does have a sensitivity to it, but not to a point that you would think that he would feel it. Right. Sarah says with quartz, you can feel the energy, which makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, you're drawn to what works with your energy. I absolutely
good point.
Absolutely believe that. It's funny though, because people ask Janie's our team medium. She's very well. Is she off yet? Then I'll tell her she's very good. Just to make sure.
Make sure she
don't tell her that.
Don't tell her that.
But people think, oh my gosh, what kind of crystals do you carry? And she's like, what's crystals? I don't carry no crystals, whatever. She does. She has a crystal sphere. It's a circle, and she'll say that seems to help her tune in a little bit more in certain situations, but for the most part, and she doesn't carry that all the time. I mean, she doesn't really worry about them. It's what works for you. You don't have to, again, thinking outside of the box. I see people that have got a different stone in every pocket in their socks. I see women that have them in their bras. And I'm like, seriously? To me, it's over the top. But if it works for you, absolutely. Jeremy's putting up, please go ahead and like and follow the Things Network, which is good. There's so many really, really good shows on this network, and we sincerely appreciate Jeremy allowing us to be on the network. And I'm saying that in all truth. There is a lot of really, really, really good shows. There's a lot of good team, a lot of good individuals that talk about quite a bit of good information. Jenny,
I have used rods, and I do not like to use them because the thought of spirit being in control of what I'm holding creeps me out. When I do a read or a walk, my guides and I are in control of what's going on.
And think about it. Seriously, if something's touching you or touching something that you're holding, and Janie usually sees things. So a lot of times when the rods are happening, she's not even seen them touch them. And that is really bizarre to her because she knows something's close to her space, but she's not even seen it. And if you're holding them and you're not the one spinning them around, I can see that being a little nerve wracking. Suck it up, Janie. Sorry.
Shay said, that's why a bottle of wine worked for me. So, because she wears a rose quartz and obsidian usually.
I just see people though that are wearing so many and taking so many ones, as though, again, if it's working for them, they haven't had an issue. Great. I've seen some crazy things happen where we've had clients, and I tend to give things out to clients as far as I have a care package that I'll usually send out to. If somebody's having a problem, the first thing I'm usually doing is sending a care package, which has holy water, has sage, white sage in it. The necklaces, kind of like what Freddie has on right now. That's one of the ones that I usually will do a blessing on, or I have somebody in particular that will do some blessings for me. But it's to go ahead and definitely make a difference for them. And sometimes even utilizing like obsidian or whatever, or we go to a client's house, I might give it to an individual that's being attacked. And I have seen, it's been pretty wild. And if you're a geologist on here and you can tell me how it happens or why it happens, why do they, something that's completely smooth, looks perfectly fine, why does that get like weathered and within a week as far as all dried up and actually start to break apart? And it's a good sized piece. So that has happened a few times. That's been kind of strange for me. But again, I'm not a geologist or somebody that studies that. I don't know why it happens. Jeremy, we definitely want to, investigate with you as well. Being on the 13th Dimension, that would be a blast by far. I've been fortunate enough to be on there a couple times with them. Fantastic show. I love it.
Amazing.
Janie.
Hell, I've been able to see and hear spirit most of my life, and that still creeps me out at times. So.
I like people with abilities. I have respect for those that are straight up and honest. People will be like, well, I have abilities, I'm invincible. Good luck with that. Most people with abilities are usually targets are not too invincible. Just the way it actually goes, because you're dealing with a lot more. For most of us, if we see something, okay, that's one thing, but when we don't see it and the person in the room that can see it is seeing it, it's realistically happening to them. For us, we're just standing there like, okay, she's losing her mind again, playing on Janie. I just want to make sure that headache keeps up there. I worked real hard this morning to get her there. Love you, sis.
Come back there.
So for that person in particular, think about the amount that would, if it's lifelike, if it's really something happening, like when it was on the ceiling above Gilson in that one room, and Janie was right there, and all of a sudden she sees this 14-year-old with her hair hanging down, turning her head backwards like you'd see on some crazy conjuring show. That perfect. Yeah, I've heard that so many times from those of you that have abilities. Blessing and a curse at the same time, especially when you don't know how to deal with it at first. It's really pretty traumatic. More feeling like you're cursed or something. And again, that gets back to where so many people think that they're being attacked or believe that they've been haunted all their lives, and they haven't. They're just the light that's drawing all these energies to them. Something comes to me and it's basically like hitting a concrete wall where this person isn't reacting. Is it going to go to me, or is it going to go to Janie, who's going to be able to see it, feel it, know it's there? Pretty obvious. Going to take a detour.
Janie said, I am not inviolable. I'm human, and I still get scared. Abilities do not take away your human emotions.
Right.
So,
Right.
makes sense.
But it's being realistic. That's the point. Is regardless, when you go in the field, you got to be realistic. You guys, I mean, seriously, how many times have one of you, you guys, turn around? Oh, Samantha's back.
Hey, Sam.
Where the hell did you go? Did you give her permission to leave?
No, she said
No,
no.
we're going to put you in timeout. You keep doing that. You're supposed to stay here. Just mess. Can't wait to do a live one on my page. We're going to probably get
I
it in
can't wait either.
Facebook jail.
It's gonna be exciting.
If they put you in Facebook jail, are you still able to do your group and paid shows? We'll have to get a hold of.
Guess we'll find out.
Anyway, shit, where was I going with that? Damn it. Abilities. All right, we'll come back to it. My bad. I just lost concentration. Charles, thanks for being on.
Hey, Charles.
Ouch. 45 years. No, eventually, look, if you have abilities, and people have stifled them before, no question about it. And sometimes it's indirectly. They're not trying to. It's what happens to basically most people when they're really, really young. People tell them, hey, there's no such thing, or don't talk about whatever. And it gets put on the back. If you turn around, I think it depends on what restrictions. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy, from somebody who would probably know.
Right.
Too many sharing and whatnot. He's great about that. But eventually, if you're one of the people that definitely have abilities, eventually you can't stifle it. Eventually you can't stop it. It's going to come out. Same thing if you go through near-death experience for some major operation or something that was very life-threatening, it will pop out then too. And I feel bad for people like that, because it's like, that has to be so consuming mentally when you start, because most people don't realize they have abilities, and it's just, why is this happening to me? Pretty wild. What Shay have?
Shay said, I never use the rods, but I feel sense energy.
Yeah, I know you do. There's no question about that. We've had some really cool conversations.
Chrissy said, nope, they keep coming at you. So,
yeah, and then you find out, and for those of you that don't have abilities, it's kind of weird, because in the sense of trying to understand, but put it in layman's terms, if you have abilities and you're expected basically to give that message so often. So like I'm using Janie in this case because she's our team medium, we can do that. If she goes out to the store, she's more likely going to be walking up to somebody and going, hey, I know you're going to think this sounds crazy, but, and then she's going to go ahead and put it out there. If not, that message just keeps coming to her and bugging her. This way she can deliver it and walk away,
Yep.
and it's not still in her head. That's got to be extremely, extremely hard for people.
Bridget says, I was told for years that I wasn't gifted and that these gifts don't exist. Only to learn that I am. I never denied my kids their gifts.
And that is the number one, kids with gifts. I mean, it's bad enough as an adult, and as an adult, you already feel like an outsider, something strange, whatever, when you find out you have gifts. People think, oh my God, this is so great, you have gifts. But they don't realize what you've gone through, or what you're even still going through when you do have gifts. Now add that to being a child. Hey, they can't tell their friends. Everybody in school will be laughing at them. Half the parents don't believe in it. So a lot of times they can't tell a parent. That's got to be a horrible spot to be in. So mad respect for anybody that turns around and keeps an open line for their kids.
Shay said, mine came to life after a near-death experience and scared the heck out of me. Chrissy, I have a teenager who is also an empath, and they have been coming at him a lot the past 6 months, and he keeps telling me he doesn't want this gift.
Yeah, unfortunately, especially as a teenager, younger teenager, of course, you go through all the hormonal changes that makes it worse. You're opening up a lot more. Not really too easy. The biggest part is learning how to control some of it, and eventually, some people can learn control really quick. And some people, it takes a very, very long time to control. And it does impact your life dramatically.
Like Janie said, the people who claim to have abilities and will tell the world that they are the best in the field, trust me, when they are stroking their own ego, trust me, people with real abilities will never have to tell you how great they are. They can simply show you. So,
yeah, I definitely believe in seeing it rather than believing it. But even there's somebody on here right now, she'll know exactly what I'm talking about. What I despise people telling you what you can't do. What I will tell you is, I mean, honestly, somebody that I work with gifted people that are learning that they have abilities. I don't technically have those abilities, but through observation, there's a lot they can still learn even from an outsider. And I've worked with a lot of people all over the world. And the first and foremost, somebody comes to me a month later and goes, okay, now I'm a medium. I'll be like, no, you're not, but you can call yourself anything you want. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. It's basically like we looked up and we said, hey, we could take there's a course online that you can take for half an hour. It's $29.95 and you can be certified as a medium or a psychic. Yeah, come on, stop. For people, including teenagers, absolutely. Having where they can reach out and actually talk to somebody, where they can actually make contact with somebody who's already walking the path ahead of them and they can actually see some of what they do. That really changes and makes a difference for them so that they know, hey, they're not a freak. They're not weird. They're not strange. They're not broke. It can be used in some really cool ways is extremely huge. Not as huge as just a parent's willingness to listen to them. That is the number one. Sarah, look, just like any field, it's no different than doing this. Everybody let me step back. There's plenty of people that think they are like the Mac Daddy of investigations. They'll have 15 people crowded in a little room. Everybody's talking at the same time. Come on, you've seen it yourself. Hell, they'll even have tons of people even watching them at the time. I mean, tons, hundreds, and they absolutely suck. Just being honest. But they think in their own minds that that's it. Unfortunately, when it comes to people with abilities, you have two sides. You have people with abilities and at different levels. They're not at the level they think they are. And then you have some people that just are out to convince you that they have abilities. That's the ones you have to worry about. Again, if somebody's got to get a bunch of information from you beforehand, there's your biggest red flag you can have. If you go to somebody, you want to find out if they have, and again, the abilities, it depends on what your expectations are. Are they psychics, mediums, or we call them sensitives? It's somebody who hasn't really learned everything about where it's coming from and is still in the process. It makes a world of difference. There are definitely some people that are claiming to have some amazing abilities that unfortunately they just don't. I mean, they're 10%ers. They 10% of the time hit it on right. Sarah, oh my gosh. Wow. I just got this crazy overwhelming feeling that you've lost somebody serious in your life. Well, no shit. Pretty much any adult has lost somebody serious in their life. I'm just using that as an example that happens too often. We want specifics. We want somebody that's going to give you some specific information that you don't post on social media, you don't post or talk about, and then they give you those details. That is when it brings it home to you. So if you're skeptical about people with abilities, it shouldn't offend those with abilities. People with abilities should understand, hey, there's con artists out there and there's true people with abilities, and it's fantastic. But you got to be careful because people that are trying to set their narrative for you, how are they doing that? Because if they don't know who you know, who's around you, and what's really going on, they could set you in the wrong direction. So you got to one eye open. Most of the time when people are paying, they want to hear something. People, Janie, correct me if I'm wrong. People will hit her up and go, but I want to hear about my aunt. She passed. That's the one I'm trying to connect with. That's the one that I want to talk to me. I know she's on the other side. I need you to get her to me. They want a particular answer. And it's almost like they're not willing to hear just the opposite answer that they're not getting. They are so trying to convince themselves so hard. That person is easy to sell anything to. Honestly, you are a great target. You know what? I need to do a read on you probably every week, to help you out. No, that's not going to help you. Just saying. Jeremy said.
Yeah, people like those can be dangerous. I guess the ones that will try to feed on all the information you give them and then try to.
Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can do what I can do, but no, I could do more, but I don't want to do too much than I can handle.
And that's a good way of looking at it. And it's hard because it's like with Janie. When I first met Janie, she did face-to-face reads. She had no idea to think outside the box what she could really do. Now it has been an incredible expanse of abilities or whatever, however you want to put it. It doesn't matter to me. It's really wild what we have seen her be able to do that we can document and confirm. That's been beyond amazing. And there are plenty of people that are like that. Shay, I'm calling you out. I've watched Shay grow so fast, and from where she's told, hey, you can't do something, and I'm like, you're already doing it. What is this guy saying? You know, again, nobody's there should be there to stop you. Helping you along, wonderful. Being realistic, saying, hey, you know, you're not mature enough that you understand everything about it, that all of a sudden you're this world-class psychic in 2 weeks. Sorry, that's just not going to happen. Being honest with you is okay. But just to go ahead and worry about trying to hold you back so they can make coin on you, that's not okay. Go with Bridget.
Bridget says, I have a beautiful story about our now 15-year-old at the store a few years ago. Her name is Shannon. We were standing at the deli counter when a couple walks up to the same counter. Shannon was wearing a fedora. This is important. Before Shannon and I walked away, she walks up to the couple and simply says, hug. Here, I will mention she is autistic. The lady asked Shannon what her name was, to which Shannon replied, come to find out, the couple had lost their daughter, also named Shannon. I think there's more to that.
It's not showing anything else yet.
Okay. Unless it was Shannon also, I guess.
So she says her name's Shannon, basically.
Yeah.
For a hug. I mean, that's again, when they are on the other side reaching back, it's amazing. And I've seen that happen so many times. It's just.
Janie, I've actually had people ask me to just lie to them if I pick something up they don't want to hear. It was like Chrissy was saying too, that they don't come with direct answers. She'll go up to somebody and just tell them something that they may and may not want to hear. Like it don't make sense to them. So.
And think about it. Doesn't it make sense that what the person picking up on, it's not really going to make sense to them offhand? But if that person is picking the information up that has abilities is now painting this wonderful picture, they're only painting from their perspective. They don't know honestly what's going on in that person's life, and that can be questionable.
Katie, I tell all my clients to get second opinions. A good quality psychic medium will be able to tell you things or validate things only that individual would know.
Perfect.
Like Jeannie said, yes, thank you for saying that.
Now, fantastic by far. Look, I know Shay is like, don't pay anyone who's going to train you. And I get that. Now, there are people that are doing classes. And again, this is my opinion. Shay got burned. I understand why she's irritated by it. Are there people out there that put their time out and charge, not taking you to the bank for it? I can understand that. I'm not knocking somebody that's guiding people along as long as they're genuine in what they're doing. And how do you tell? It's kind of hard to do. It's not that so simple, especially when this stuff is just hitting you. But finding certain groups or certain conversations like this conversation, in all sincerity, I'm very solid in this conversation because I've been with Janie long enough. We've been doing a lot of things live, not as much recently, but you guys have been able to watch and see how things go. I mean, if you haven't been able to understand us by now, if you're new to us, I get it. But if you've been around us at all, you get an idea who we are. We're just going to give you straight as we see it. And it's up to you to decide. If you don't want to believe it, not a problem. I'm going to see if I have this. I'm going to go to this one. I think I have it. His name is Kenny. And Janie has just told us that there's a little boy that's in this location. And his name's Kenny. And this is the type of confirmation I'm talking about. We're live at a location. We're running the video camera. We're feeding it to Facebook. There's unedited version out there. And then she starts telling us about this little boy named Kenny that's there. So I'm going to try to get Kenny to cross over, and trying to do so. One of my team members at the time mentioned the dog. So I start using the dog. I'm like, Kenny, don't you want to see your doggy? And you're going to hear this little boy say something. And let me play it and show you for a second. It's very interesting. Come on, I want to see one of these lights turn on. Can you help me, please?
It's really dark up here, Kenny. We need a light on. You're the only one that can turn it on for us. Thank you, baby.
Woohoo! That was quick.
Yay!
You're fast. Great job.
It's getting kind of scary in the dark. Can you turn another light on for us?
Hey, Kenny, if you want a puppy dog, do you want a puppy dog? How about a
That
puppy
sounds
dog?
Awesome.
If you want a puppy dog, turn another light on. What's that?
He's trying to clap his hands.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Kenny, if you want a puppy dog, do you want a puppy dog? How about
That
a puppy
sounds
dog?
awesome.
You can clearly hear a no come out of there. I'm going to play it one more time. You're listening for no. His response wasn't even what I expected. I'm expecting he's a little kid. He's going to go yes. But there's a little kid that says no. Come on, I want to see one of these lights turn on. Can you help me? Please?
It's really dark up here, Kenny. We need a light on. You're the only one that can turn it on for us. Thank you, baby.
Woohoo! That was quick.
Yay!
You're fast. Great job.
It's getting kind of scary in the dark. Can you turn another light on for us?
Hey, Kenny, if you want a puppy dog, do you want a puppy dog? How about
That
a puppy
sounds
dog?
awesome.
If you want a puppy dog, turn another light on. What's that?
He's trying to clap his hands.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Kenny, if you want a puppy dog, do you want a puppy dog? How about a
That
puppy
sounds
dog?
awesome.
Again, that's confirmation. If and this has happened on so many of our videos, it's besides cutting that clip down, it's by all means you can go on right now and go on Facebook and just look up that video and you can listen to it and see it happen for yourself, unedited, nothing touched on it. How do you explain that? That's confirmation. And we've had it with girls, we've had it with boys, we've had it with adults, we've had it with it's just, to me, it blows my mind. It boggles my mind. Even though I've seen this happen over and over again, that's the type of confirmations I think that are amazing.
Linda heard the no. Yeah.
I'm just trying to jump back up, make sure I didn't pass anything.
All right. I think we're.
All right, just catching up. Bear with us for a second. I was just want to catch up, make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh, Irene's on. I didn't see where she popped on at, but Irene, if you're on, glad to have you on. Irene's
Hello.
from, is it Japan?
I think it's Japan. I think.
Irene, is it Japan that you're on from, or Japan or Tokyo? I don't recall right offhand. I think it's Japan. But when you have confirmation like that, especially if the client's around it, I mean, we have clients that are watching. A lot of times we'll go live and we have people with abilities and they're telling certain things. Japan. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Chrissy.
Casey.
They'll be giving details about the house that even the client has not given us. And the client is sitting here watching the monitor with the live feed and watching the comments from people. Amanda, thanks for jumping on. And be like, how, oh my gosh, they're telling, and again, the client hasn't even told us, but yet details are coming out about what's going on with the client from people with fantastic abilities that are just sitting back, just giving some input while we're having our live. Amanda?
Man, I got videos and pictures. Y'all need to send it. It's happening to my house or see it.
Amanda, you're more than welcome. I've got, you can reach out to us as far as messages on our page. Easy way of going. Myself or Freddie, either way. I usually am the one that's responding. I'm actually trying to play catch up after being sick for so long. And I sincerely apologize. If you have something going on in your house, sorry. When you have something going on in your house, the hardest thing it is to do, the step is to actually reach out. So kudos to you for reaching out. Hats off. It's hard because the last thing you want to do is be ridiculed or mocked because you're saying, hey, something unexplained is happening in my house. I feel bad for so many people that's usually the way to start off. Hey, I know you're going to think I'm crazy. Same thing with the conversations we have on the phone. We're not going to think you're crazy. We're the ones sitting in the dark talking to ourselves. To us, we're talking to ourselves. But feel free to reach out to our page. Again, I've got a couple of messages that are like 2 days old that I got to reach and take care of. And typically I'm not so slow about things. Just right now I've been going through some issues, but we'll be playing catch up. Love to see any videos, any pictures you have. When it comes to videos and stuff, we're out to debunk. I'm going to be the first to tell you, quite honestly, we are definitely out to debunk a lot of things that people think are paranormal happening at their house. Honestly is not. There's a lot of easy explanations. And here before too long, hopefully we'll go ahead and we'll do some live experiments so we can show you just why things look like they're translucent, like a ghost floating in the air or something on a CCTV camera and stuff like that. We have a lot to show you. Man, sweetheart, unless you show me something different, I'm not out to be one of the ones that's going to start off thinking that you're crazy. Quite honestly, we know reality. We know what really happened. Wow, Bill, we know what really goes on out there.
Hey, Bill.
Yes, Jeremy, put us down for a yes, and that's up to you if we're there for 1 day or 2 days. If that's what you're referring to. I apologize if I didn't send that response in already. Absolutely would love to go hang out with you guys. Janie?
Every time I do a walk, I still start off with, you're going to think I'm crazy, but this is what's going on. So.
And it's true. It doesn't matter how many confirmations she gets. It's the same way. And she gives me just what she gets. Now, a little difference, which I don't think people have learned how to do well enough. A person with abilities is getting this information and they're trying to repeat it. I don't care. It'd be worth it. If we can have both nights, we'll do both nights. And they're trying to repeat information as fast as they can. Like if Janie and I we're walking the location, she'll start telling me what she's getting. But at the same time, sometimes I need to have detailed information. And it's not just what she's getting. I want her to look at what she's seeing because she's seeing things realistically. And sometimes it's going to be the clothing, the period clothing. What are they wearing? Because a lot of times she can see exactly that. That's going to tune me in to let me know a little bit more information of what's going on. And that's very, very important. Jeremy, thank you very, very much. Chrissy had a family who refused to believe me, so I sent it to 3 other groups who all agreed with me. Don't get into a locked position where some people don't believe you. Look, there's people. I legitimately had. I know this is going to sound so fictitious. I legitimately had a demon I could talk to over the phone. I could sit there and have the homeowner put it on. Janie heard the same one. I could have her put her phone on speaker, and this voice would boom out of nowhere. It was a very. You have to be around a very negative energy to understand how they talk. It's not a human voice, but it was very apparent. And between knocking things over visually, even on video chat, banging on something. And each time the client, who's the only one really there, is screaming bloody murder because she's not expecting this to come from anywhere. And even she would be like, "Are you sure it is?" I'm like, what do you want me to tell you? Is the tooth fairy up in your attic building a new house? I mean, come on. I mean, it gets to a point where it's got to be reality of what's going on. You're not trying to scare people. These are conversations that happen over a time. I mean, when you have a person who is definitely afraid waking up with frost when she talks, I mean, realistically, she could see even her dog's breath. It was so cold in her room, and it was just her room. It wasn't a thing with the HVAC.
Jeremy says, so many people want their homes to be haunted. I had a case a couple years ago who really, really wanted that. And while you could see the disappointment in their faces when I told them there was nothing there, they took it really well and were respectful about it. There's different ways we go with cases, in all sincerity. Because they happen so often, there's some that we plan out with the team. Great. There's some that I'll plan out with Janie. Do Janie to go ahead and do a remote. Chantel, thanks for being on. Hello.
Have Janie do a remote, then we'll go to them. And there's those that I just pop out and just go take care of, especially if there's children involved. I've even had clients create the issue as far as realistically. I had one who was telling me, well, he kept going back about, if I'm going by myself, a lot of times I'll end up putting down static cams, but I put them in ways that I can see what's going on. As I explained last time, mirrors are great because people look at which way the camera's pointed and they're not thinking about the reflection. In this case, gentleman's going, yeah, but I just still can't get over that chair moving. I'm going, chair moved, huh? He's like, yeah, that chair, man, I'm telling you, it was turned this way and then it's turned all the way back this way. That just really freaked me out. Well, when I review the camera, he was wearing a high-vis jacket. So I've got this lime green yellow, the safety jacket, reaching over to the chair and turning it. Hence, they didn't get any information or anything that I picked up on. And, I'm done. I'm not going to be, if the clients don't have integrity, I'm done. If the clients have particular drug issues that are pushing things over the top, I'm just being honest with you right now. They have issues like that and pushing things over the top, or they're attention seekers. And we do get those in this field. It just, this is happening, and whatever. And we can walk into locations after you do it for so long, and you kind of already have an idea. But you have to be open-minded, and then you catch them. They tend to mess up. They don't keep to the same role, and that's what part of the questioning. And you're always investigating. You don't just make a decision before you get there. Amanda, I will actually put that in the comments here in just a second. Charles, thanks for being on.
Hey, Charles.
What did Janie have?
Janie has, I have picked up stuff on location and told the client, and they were disappointed about it. Wasn't in the spot they wanted it to be. And there's times it's going to be that way. And like with Janie's 110% honest with people. So, Donna says, who the heck wants their house haunted? Laugh out loud. You'd be surprised. A lot of people would say that just to get people to come out and investigate stuff, or especially TV shows and stuff like that. They'll get on that.
TV shows, perfect example. Yeah. Real quick, Amanda, it's under the Things Network. That's what I'm typing in as right now since I'm on the Things. That's my email address. You're more than welcome to go ahead and use that. As far as if you've got anything that has any type of size to it, you can certainly send it.
Irene said she's in Facebook, Jeff, so she can't comment, only watch. We're sorry, Irene.
I enjoy having you on with us, Irene. So by all means, that's a big deal. There are so many people that are looking either for their house to be put on, and we God knows, we have already investigated multiple locations that eventually were put on or were previously put on all the different big shows. I mean, it could have been Ghost Hunters or whatever. They had been on the shows, and what we picked up on was completely different. And then in one or two cases, unfortunately, the client was such a pill popper. Do I think there was activity there? Yeah. But do I believe anything she says? No. And again, I get people have issues as far as with drugs, and it's not that easy to jump off. But that's that much more reason you have to slow down, though, because we do know that can obviously change your mindset.
And usually when we go on investigations, one of us or several will kind of be observant too, and what people keep in their house, what's going on and stuff like that. You kind of get an idea, especially from a medical background.
Yes.
Jenny has a medical background, stuff like that. So there is times where it's like, hey, hey, Rob, I'm not sure, but this is what's going on. And we will tell Rob, hey, this is in here just to kind of give you a heads up. So if there's a safety issue, a safety concern, another thing too, we'll tell you, and you'll give us a code word.
Yes.
And we'll leave.
Anne made a good mention. Sometimes it's not the house, it's them. And again, and let's go even a little bit farther on that. When we go to a location, sometimes there's something in the location that's happening. Sometimes there's actually something with an individual, and not that they're trying to prank, not that they're trying to do anything malicious, but it's what's around that particular individual that is actually creating things to happen. And then again, you get the pranks, man. I get the calls, I get the phone calls. Fortunately, we're able to meet. I had one yesterday. The guy's making all this sound. Yeah, I got things going on, and my house, man, is going crazy. And you're thinking, okay, you want to help. Now my blood pressure hardly even changes at this point, because it's like we've heard it so many times. And the guy goes, I've never had this before. I was like, okay, anything changed? You bring anything to the house? Yeah, I just started watching The Conjuring. All right, great. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
It's fake. It was absolutely fake. He blocked his number on purpose because of it. There's different indicators. It's no different than people, again, go back to the recorder. This has been the calls of so many hysterical calls for help from residents. People turn around and they go, hey, let's go investigate. Let's ask some questions. So, hey, they get the recorder out. They do their own EVP session or ITC session in their own house, and they get something that goes, hey. And all of a sudden, now they're, oh my God, I need help. You ask questions. Are you not really expecting to ever get an answer?
You're doing the invite.
What are you doing? Right. An invite says, hey, whoever's here, good or bad, doesn't matter. We're trying to talk to you. Come talk to us. Guess what happens sometimes?
They talk to you.
Yeah, yeah, you do get answers sometimes, and not all the time, not every time, but you can get answers. And when they know you're trying to talk to them, and they happen to say something that's a very clear, people lose their mind.
Real quick, hi Bill. Bill has to jump off real quick, but
Bill, thanks for being on, buddy. I appreciate it, Wild Bill. Thank you so much.
Chrissy said a manifestation of their own emotions is common.
And that's the harder thing to treat. Excuse me. Perfect. Manifestation, imagination. I don't care how you put it. When people start creating things in their own head, it's no different. If I go to treat a location, most people that are experiencing things that they can't see are like, oh my God, this thing is huge. They can't see it, but it scares the hell out of them to a point that this thing is huge. Shrink it down. You got to control that. And that's why I'll plant a seed about size. And it makes a difference to the client. Now they can start saying, okay, what if this thing is a lot smaller and is not this huge thing that's scaring them? It's very, very important because our imagination is the worst. So for me, I use animals, especially dogs. Dogs are great if they've got pets like a dog at their house. It's a lot easier to see. And if the dog gets back into its normal habit and routine instantly, like the next day, it's perfectly fine. Humans don't really settle back in so quick. We're a lot more emotional than like an animal, like a dog, in all sincerity. Right. But I use that as a barometer. If they're saying, yeah, their dogs are doing perfectly fine, they're not barking, growling, or doing anything else anymore, they're calm, they're laying around, then I got an idea pretty much everything's going to be fine. It's just a good indicator. Sarah
said, I believe my house is like a ley line, and it's kind of like where ghosts can go through. Sometimes there are no spirits in the house, and then all of a sudden they could be a few just passing through. If that makes any sense, my house is not haunted.
Sure. And by all means, people think of ghosts or spirits being stuck in one location. The majority of them are transitional. They can move, they can go. We know that. There's no question about it. Jeremy brought up a great point. Look, guys, if you can't catch the lives, you can certainly go back, and the videos are available for later times, that fit more to your schedule. So please check them out. The Things Network has a YouTube channel. If you haven't gone on there and subscribed, please go over to the YouTube channel for Things Network and subscribe to that as well. That would be fantastic. There are some really, really, really good teams and people out there trying to share real information. Look, do your own homework, look through things and kind of pay attention to what's going on. Definitely prefer having you live. Anytime you can be with us, right. We definitely like it. We are going to be doing some more random lives, like whether it's on the weekend or even the week. Now that we live so close to each other, it makes things a lot easier. As I get better, we're gonna get more into it. I do apologize for the delay in that. We want to do a lot more. To Chantel's point, yeah, I do like the lives better. It's so much funner when you can be live. It is really, there's nothing to be hidden. If you have a question, ask the question. If you anytime you want to hit us up individually or hit us up on our page, you're golden to do so. I did not mention this time. I meant to mention it though. Anytime we are live, we're doing one of these, it's all about networking. If you have something that's paranormal, a paranormal event, a paranormal team, a paranormal store, you got anything like that, and you want to go ahead and put it under the comments, you are more than welcome to always do that on us.
Jerry said Robert Lee Saturday is open for investigation.
Yeah, we're going to have to definitely look at that. We're going to do some lives here before too long. I'm playing catch up, but it's not something, I don't go in the field very much. I just went one time for a residential, and it was only because it was with another team. I just did just this past week, which I took somebody with me just to go ahead, and we were kind of setting back. It was just to help guide along for another team that was trying to help people out. So here before long, as I feel better, then we'll definitely be getting back out and doing some more lives. Hopefully Freddie's schedule, we can somehow manipulate that before too long so he can be with us. But we'd love to be live, and we will definitely do some lives on Saturday night. That's when we do them. So someone will be on the network. We'd love to do that. That'd be great. So we're going to get ready to jump off here. You guys have been absolutely awesome to be with today. We sincerely appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions, man, feel free to reach out. Please remember to go ahead and check out the Things Network as far as their YouTube, their Facebook page. If you haven't given them a like already, show some love, give them a like. Right. It's a fantastic network that allows us to go ahead and put information out there. often write comments on the show after they air. Do read them. Linda, usually yes. I'm not saying I've done every one. The past 6-7 weeks, I've been horrible. I hate even looking at the computer screen and stuff. It's an issue I have right now. I'm working through it. I apologize if I have not commented back to you. Normal routine, yes. But again, I've been lax in the last several weeks. I do sincerely apologize for that. If you have any other comments, though, again, please hit us up. All right. Love and light, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we are out here.
Yep. Thanks for joining, guys.